I've been asked to take a look at some of the dealer extended warranties you get when you buy a car, protecting the car, the components in the car, and also the many add-on insurance products that you get. And rather than assume that they're all bad, they're all out to just take your money, there are some atrociously worded, shocking policies that are not really, in my opinion, worth the paper they're written on. And the key thing really is to check the small print. We hate reading through lots of small print. In fact, a salesman would just want you to sign on the dotted line without reading any of the terms and conditions. And that's really where a lot of people come unstuck. The dealership and their team of solicitors and lawyers have had years to devise the perfect get out clauses should anything arise. And they're expecting you to just sign away all of your rights and agree to those terms and conditions. In this video then, we're going to look at some of the typical exclusions that are made on some of these policies, and just to help you to make a good decision as to whether this policy is worth taking out or whether it's not worth the paper it's written on, and you can just save your money. In fact, in some cases, it's easier to just hang on to your money and pay out when something needs repairing or something needs to be attended to than relying on insurance to do that for you. Now, you buy a car, you're not familiar with the car. There's certain amounts of apprehension and concern about the car's reliability. Is it going to break down on you? And having a warranty gives you peace of mind, or it should give you peace of mind. The basic idea of a warranty is that if something goes wrong during the warranty period, you take it back to where you bought it from, they fix it and give it back to you. Peace of mind. In all of our heads, that really is how a warranty should work. The reality, though, is somewhat different. When you look at the wordings of warranties, you'll find a raft of exclusions. A lot of the exclusions are actually things that commonly happen, that commonly go wrong. Often hoses, pipes, seals, wiring looms, sensors, corrosion damage to components, and things that can be attributed to wear and tear are excluded from policies. Now, often when you take your car into the main dealer, you will have to pay a diagnostic fee. And in most cases, in my experience, the dealers will refund that diagnostic fee if the work is covered by the warranty. You've got your new car, you take it to the dealership with a problem, you pay the diagnostic fee, and it's not covered by the warranty. You're now at a dealer's with potentially your car in pieces. They can put it back together for you and you can take it to a local garage. But most of us are probably just going to cut our losses and let the dealership do the work, not under warranty. And dealership prices are extortionate. They're out of the reach of most people, if we're honest. And we might cynically view the warranty as just a way of drumming up work and business for the dealership. Warranties may also cap the labour rates. They also may specify that you can only use certain places to carry out the repairs. Now, manufacturer warranties are generally pretty good. They're nicely worded. Can you imagine the backlash that a large manufacturer would get if there was a major warranty scandal cropping up that just exposed a horrible loophole that they were using to avoid paying out warranty claims? But the big problem I often see is with warranties offered by dealerships, franchised or non-franchised dealerships using their own warranties or using specialist warranty providers to provide a warranty cover for the car that they sell. Another thing that's often sold with your new car when you buy it is gap insurance. Even when you buy a used car, you get an option for gap insurance. Now, the idea of gap insurance is if your car is written off. Now, how often have you had a car written off? We're talking about a fairly unlikely set of circumstances. If your car is new or nearly new and it's got a fairly high value, chances are it's going to be repaired. You're going to have to do substantial amounts of damage to the car to achieve a write-off. But the upshot is, if the insurance company offered you, say, £20,000 for the replacement of the car and the actual cost that you paid for it new was 25 or 30,000, the gap insurance would pay the difference, so you're not out of pocket. And even if the car was 6 months, 12 months, 24 months old, if the gap insurance was still in force, the general idea of the gap insurance, you will need to check the policy wording to confirm, but the idea is to put you back into the position you were in when you first purchased the car. On the surface of it, that sounds good. The typical cost of gap insurance is somewhere between £200 and £500. So we're not talking about massive chunks of money. Now, a lot of gap insurances come with a clause: if the insurer offers a replacement vehicle, the gap insurance is just not going to work. The gap insurance will not cover that. Now, having dealt with insurance companies working in the industry for 14 years or so, most claims on new or nearly new cars always result in a new car being offered, a replacement vehicle of equivalent of what you lost being offered to you, because the insurers can get substantial discounts and rebates. They can claim back the VAT. They've got the bulk purchasing power, and it's usually cheaper for them to provide you with a new replacement car than it is to pay you back the money for you to go and get the replacement car. Check your gap insurance. I've seen some gap insurance policies where if that happens, the gap insurance is transferred to the new vehicle. I've seen some policies where if you've lost that car and you've not been able to use the gap insurance is not transferable, and you've effectively lost the money that you paid for the gap insurance. I think gap insurance is better if you're buying a used car with a decent amount of value and there is a big chance of it being written off. But if you're buying new or very nearly new cars, it really probably isn't worth thinking about, in my opinion. Alloy wheel protection, we often get little curb scrapes on our alloy wheels, and it's really annoying. The typical cost of a repair is somewhere between £40 and £60 locally. Obviously, different alloys have different levels of cost attached to them. If they're laser cut or they've got a specialist finish, you're looking at upper end of those repair costs, maybe even a bit more. Now, the idea is that you've paid out for this insurance policy, and any damage to your alloy wheel, you hope, is covered and they will repair it. When you start looking at the small print of some of these policies, you're often limited to the number of claims that you can make. I've seen policies costing about £200 that only cover you for 4 claims in a year. Now, it would probably be cheaper to just save your £200 and pay for 4 repairs yourself. That policy clearly wasn't worth the paper it was written on. Other policies only cover cosmetic damage, surface repairs, minor repairs. If there's a major chip or dent or significant scratching to the alloy wheel, the insurance policy won't pay out for that. So again, that's a big get out clause that the insurers use. And often you have to pay an excess. On most of these policies, you will find there's often an excess deducted from the final settlement. And if that excess was £25, that again is eating into the cost of the repair. You may just as well have taken the chance and paid for a repair should it cropped up. The same applies to tyre insurance, where you can protect your tyres against punctures. You'll often find these only cover tyres up to a certain tread depth. The legal minimum is 1.6 millimetres, but I've seen policy wordings where if the tread depth is 3 millimetres or lower, they won't kick in. They won't replace the tyre. They'll only often offer a repair if the tyre is repairable. Again, you may have an excess to contribute toward the cost of the claim, and you may be limited to the amount of claims that you can make during the duration of the policy. Think about how often you get punctures or damage to your tyres and the likelihood of actually needing the insurance, and that will help you to evaluate whether you should take this policy out or not. Paint and fabric protection. It sounds like a good idea to protect the paintwork of your car, to protect the fabric. They often use commercially available products to form a layer on the paint, and the fabric inside the car is protected against stains where they will be lifted out and removed more easily. Again, check the cost of this. It's often cheaper to get that done yourself. In some cases, you can even buy good quality products yourself and apply them to your vehicle and protect the paint and the fabric. Some of these deals from dealers often include a repair clause where if the paint is damaged, they will repair the paint and they will reapply the protective coating, and upholstery cleaning as well. And upholstery repair sometimes is included in these protections. So you're not just buying the physical protection, but think about the cost and how much it would cost for you to go out and buy these products and apply it yourself, or get a local garage or a local car valeter to apply these finishes to your vehicle to protect it. Key cover. Now, with some car keys, they cost £300 to £1,000 if you lose the key. How often have you lost your key? It's a fairly rare occurrence. It's really annoying when it actually happens. I think most of us have lost it down the back of the sofa for half a day, and we spent most of our time that morning looking for these keys, but they've always been within grasp and we haven't actually lost them. But key insurance will pay out out for the cost of replacement keys. It often comes with a contribution you have to pay, the excess toward the claim of say £100, and you've got to weigh up the cost of the policy and the amount you'll get back. If your key replacement cost was £200 and you're contributing £100 and the insurance policy was over £100, you're still not quids in. You've still effectively made a lot on the deal, and that insurance wasn't worth the paper it was written on. So carefully examine the policy wording of the key insurance policy that's offered to you, and just make sure it is reasonable and it is a good value option for you. Another paintwork protection is scratch and dent repair. Now, often these will only kick in if it is a superficial dent or scratch, if the bottom layer of paint isn't damaged, for example. And they'll often use these mobile dent repair specialists that will come out. They do a fantastic job. They can remove those annoying little car park dents that you get in the door where someone's just opened the door into the side. They can repair superficial scratches. You won't even know that the scratch is there. And again, with this insurance, you've got to weigh up the likelihood of needing it. How often does your car pick up these dents? And how much would it cost you to get one of these specialists in yourself to do the repair? And thinking that the insurance company are making a profit, the dealer have to make a commission on it, and they still have to pay out for the claim when the damage actually happens. You've got quite a few overheads included in the insurance policy you're buying, and it's probably in a lot of cases cheaper to just go to your local specialist should something happen. Obviously, lots of things could happen and you'll be seriously out of pocket if you did that. You've always got to weigh up with insurance peace of mind over the value and the cost of the product. Service plans also seem like a good idea. At the very minimum, it allows you to spread the cost of servicing. Now, some servicing costs can be about 300 to 500. We're seeing that fairly typically on fairly average family cars now. And the service plans will typically save you £200 or so over the period of 2 years. Now, that's a good idea. It does save you money. If you were going to go to the main dealer and have it serviced, then these service plans will save you money on the main dealer price. You'll save a lot of money not using a main dealer, but some people do like to keep the service log intact with a full dealer service history, and others just like the reassurance of going to a dealer. But they often lock you in to the dealer. The service plan will only cover work that is actually done at the dealership, and there's often extras attached. A lot of service plans pretty much only cover an inspection and oil change. You'll find usually if it requires an additional set of spark plugs or the air filter needs to be replaced, you'll be paying for that on top, and you'll be paying that at main dealer rates because you're getting it done at the time of the service. If you change your car, you often can't cancel the policy. You won't get a refund, and this policy isn't transferable to the new vehicle. In some cases, the policy may be transferable to the new owner of your car when you sell it, but often it's dead money if you sell your car or something happens to it and you try getting an insurance company to reimburse you for the cost of a service plan because your car has been stolen or written off. They just won't do it. That wasn't part of the original agreement as far as the insurance company are concerned. So you've just signed up for a deal on a new car or on a used car. The salesman is pushing all these protection insurances at you. And really, I'm just saying to you, take time to think, examine the policy wordings. In a lot of cases, you don't have to take them out on the day. You can go back to the dealership a week or two later. They don't want you to do that because they want you to be under the pressure, under the magic spell of the salesman, where he's got you signing and you're in this rhythm of always signing these documents to protect this massive outlay that you've just made. If you found this video useful, please boot the like button. Please let me know in the comments your experiences of car dealerships, the warranties, the policies that are offered to protect your vehicle, and whether I've been unfair or whether you've found some clauses that I haven't covered in this particular video. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so, because that really does help us to get out there. We're still a relatively small channel and we appreciate all the support you get, all the comments and all the likes. And I've lined up this video and this playlist for you. Thanks for watching. See you in these next videos.